Hi guys, my name is Edric. I'm a year 3 in UOW. I'm taking the major in big data, and I'm from Jakarta, and here I am in Singapore. I went from foundation in UTS in search, so then that's supposed to lead up to going into UTS kan. So I would get a 1 year exemption, but then COVID happened, so I was taking my classes online, and then it took I had to join their online classes and pay like I think 40K. With scholarship that's around 30K per year, and that's like really expensive, right? And it's online also, so not worth it. Then I thought I saw other opportunities in Singapore, and I saw like SIM is like, oh, UOW is only like 10K a year, like, oh, that's very cheap. Might as well go there. Education's like should be roughly the same, right? And you go to university just for the people that you meet, and I think I found a pretty good community as well here. Oh, Xavier Academy.
Or is it just like
I think that's just like
something you do?
it was a one-off course, I think. Then I didn't continue with that. But for Udemy, right, I joined something called 365 Data Science, and it trains you to be a data scientist in a sense. And I completed that over 3 months, but honestly, I didn't really learn much. It's not much real-world applications, right? So from there, I decided, oh, I'm kind of bored of this. Then I went on to Kaggle because I heard Kaggle is a data science platform for people to apply their skills to real world scenarios, right? And there's a community on there as well. So I decided to join a machine learning competition from Kaggle, and I joined a few, met a few friends. Then I gradually built like I guess you could say a personal brand on there before while I was in my gap year. Okay, so it's a long story. So let's start with this. Do you guys know Michael Reeves?
I've heard.
So he's a guy who does robotics and tases people. I was like, oh, that's funny. And then because of that, I ended up going into looking into how to program. And then I also like to play this video game called Dota 2 back then. And I saw OpenAI do a Dota 2 like bot, and that's like in the AI field, right? So I was like, oh, that sounds fun. I want to do this in the future. So I ended up looking into machine learning, and I went down into this rabbit hole, and here I am. Ah, mm, I guess while I was doing Kaggle competitions, right? I was also doing Twitter at the time. I think most of you don't know this, but I did Twitter, and I was trying to develop a personal brand because that was my niche, right? I was like a younger person going into data science, and I was just tweeting about what I learned. And I realized, oh, I can actually gain followers from this, and people actually want my skill. So based on that, then I can infer I can probably make a living out of this. There's two things that motivate a person. So there's passion, of course. Passion is something you're good at, right? And the other thing is purpose. So purpose is how your passion can positively impact other people. So I think to find your passion, it's just through experimenting. I like back then I had this mindset that I don't like to be in my comfort zone. So if I'm always uncomfortable, that means I'm in a good spot. So I was looking at going to competitions, being finding new people that I'm very uncomfortable with and interacting with them because I was a very shy kid back then. So I think that's how I found my passion in the end. And my purpose is developed through like interacting with people, finding community, right? And seeing how I can positively impact them through tech. I guess running into, well, everyone just says like, oh, there's bugs, there's the natural like code errors, and in the end, what the solution is just to read through something called documentation. And that's like your user manual on how to do a certain thing, but it's not as straightforward as that because you have to apply some extra stuff on top of documentation, right, to get the program working. And I guess my tip is just to be consistent, like show up every day. Like for me personally, I always go to school every day because I won't work at home. And yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Okay, I guess mm, you need to develop a healthy lifestyle. And for me and a lot of Indo people, I think we strive on community, right? So how I see it is that I like for community, I like to focus on these three things, which is physical, technical, and spiritual. So physical, I like just go to the gym, then I meet people there, and then it keeps me healthy and in good shape, right? Then we get to technical. uh, I coincidentally found very good technical friends, they're all Indo as well, in my UOW batch. So every day I just hang out with them, and then every time we discover like bugs and stuff, we like laugh it off together. It's like quite fun. So it's better than suffering alone. And yeah, and spiritual, I joined like a local Indo church here, and that way I can like have the will to keep going. Yeah. Okay, so Kaggle is, like I said, a data science platform, right? So it's not only machine learning competitions, but it also has data sets, also has people's code on how to solve several data science problems. And there's also, oh, I think it's mainly those two and three with competitions. So competitions, you have to get the best metric for a certain problem, and you get ranked via a leaderboard. So it's very non-subjective, and you can apply several tips and tricks to be able to boost those metrics. And yeah, to me, Kaggle is a place where you can learn a lot from other people, and you can also team up with them, and you guys can share ideas to try to get to the top of the leaderboard. Okay, so when I started, I joined something called Tabular Playground Series. It's called TPS, and every month they would have something called a playground competition, and this is on data that is tabular. So like Excel sheets, like that's tabular data, right? And based on those competitions, I can like start like building my knowledge on simpler machine learning methods, and over time I built up my knowledge to be able to tackle the more complicated ones. So some deep learning ones, which is like image recognition or natural language processing, that kind of stuff.
Hey, that's nice. And it's also like one of your achievements, right? I saw that you placed 20th out of
30th.
19 and 42 teams.
Oh, okay, yeah, one of them for the
Yeah.
beginner competitions.
Yeah, could you tell us more about like what pushed you to join that specific competition and like where did you get the idea for the project itself?
Oh, okay. So the idea for the competition is actually given by the competition. So the problem statement is given by the competition, right? Then the data set is also given. So everyone has the same data set, but everyone can implement machine learning methods differently. And for me, how I know is literally just an email from Kaggle, because I downloaded a data set from there, and they're like, "Oh, you look like a beginner. Why don't you try joining this competition?" And at the time, I was like bored of my data science course, right? So I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's go." Hmm. Okay. So Pathfinder is a competition about uh, giving a certain score to a certain pet picture. So how cute this pet picture is. Let's say your pet picture is very dark and has a lot of unwanted features in the picture, then you would get a lower score. But if your picture has like a clear face of a dog and no other obstruction, then you would get a higher score on that. So, in a sense, it helps the adoption agencies tell people how to take pictures and then raise their adoption rates. So I like this problem statement, and it was a simpler competition compared to the other competitions at the time, and it was on computer vision. So technically, I got into deep learning for the first time when I joined that competition, and to do that, I learned from this book called Deep Learning with PyTorch, I believe. Then I applied that knowledge onto the competition and mostly read other people's codes and applied them for myself. Then over time, I tried my own little tweaks and tips and tricks on them, and then that helped me like up my leaderboard rating. But I also got to know people from the leaderboard, and I teamed up with them, and they offered more solutions, and more tips and tricks. So we eventually pushed up to 30th out of 3.5K people, I think. Yeah. Okay, okay. So, how I got into hackathons is that I got to Singapore, right? Then I realized, oh, I cannot intern here. That's a problem because IT needs portfolios, right? So I figured, what's the next best thing? Oh, Singapore hosts a lot of hackathons. So hackathons, in a sense, is my replacement for internships for my portfolio. And I've been joining since year one, I think. And my role as like an IT person kind of shifted from like machine learning research to software engineering because of hackathons. Because they only offer problem statements and you have to build apps out of it, right? So based on that, oh, wait, how? Why did I join hackathons? Wait, what else? I
Yeah,
forgot.
and maybe any tips on how people could like try,
Ah, okay.
especially as he said before, kebanyakan yang not so experienced lah. And
Mm.
that I think could be quite intimidating.
Mm.
And how could like those type of people just like push themselves to start? Okay, hey, hackathon is not that bad.
Okay. So, can I give a technical answer as well?
Can.
Okay, so first of all, it is intimidating. There's gonna be a lot of very smart people, and if you're assuming like, oh, I'm just a year one, I just learned Java from this subject, and I don't know what to do. So my suggestion would be first to learn a front end framework, so things like React, and I think Django. Then there's also backend frameworks that you can learn. So something like Express or Flask. I think Django as well. So based on these things, if you already have front end and back end, then you can already build a fully functioning app and just follow some tutorials, then build your own projects. Then I think you'll build up the confidence to go into a hackathon and be like, oh, I can actually build something in these next 24 hours, even though I only have this little experience, and just, yeah, shock the world.
Okay, that's nice. But jadi basically kebanyakan experience-nya itu outside of school, right?
Hmm.
But how do you feel like kayak you enrolling in SIM and UOW actually helps you grow as a person?
Okay, I
Like
guess.
maybe things that our school offers to you.
Let me add.
Mhm.
Maksudnya tuh kayak kalau misalnya you nggak di SIM, kayak misalnya di sekolah lain,
Oh, okay.
lu potong woi.
Kan tinggal
Oh ya udah sorry.
Ah.
Maksudnya kayak kalau misalnya you're not here in SIM, do you think you will get the same experience atau kayak no? Do you think like if you go to school di Indo,
ini powerbank. Yang warna hitam.
iya. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Kayak ruangan ini jemput kan? Hari ini nggak pakai, hari ini dance tuh. Oh ada di sini? Di dance tuh? Iya. Oh ya udah oke. Thank you. Sorry. Maaf.
No problem.
Advertisement.
Gimana?
Okay, jadi back to the question.
Mhm.
Kayak do you get the question that I'm like asking? Kalau misalnya kayak you di Indo sama you di Singapura, do you think like you get the same experience or no?
Okay, I got it. Okay, so I think I'm in a good place in SIM because I found people that are smarter than me as well, technically. And I didn't expect that coming to SIM because I thought SIM was like a third grade uni, right? Okay, that's a bit offensive, but cut that.
Tapi itu blooper. Tapi apa bla bla uni kita kayak pip.
Oh yeah, sure.
Ya, clickbait.
Yeah. And okay, based on that, then I think we have less coursework, right, in SIM compared to NUS, NTU, those big name unis, and we have more free time to be able to spend that on more hackathons, like things that we can do outside of school. And based on that combination of finding smart friends and having more free time, and just the location being in Singapore instead of Indonesia, then there's already a lot of hackathons going on here. And these three things, I think, is like the big formula of why I choose to join hackathons given the situation. And it's worked quite well so far.
So you feel like Indonesia doesn't give you as much opportunity, or as in kayak
Okay.
if you're di SG?
For-
Tapi jawabnya jangan jelekin Indo ya.
Okay.
Jangan jelekin Indo. Kayak in
Kayak,
general aja
yeah,
gitu.
kayak does the location kayak whether you're pursuing IT in Indo and pursuing IT in SG itu kayak beda itu kah kira-kira?
Oh.
Kayak
Wah, gimana ya? I
You can
mean,
also put in like why you choose SG gitu.
SG.
Karena kan kita semua pasti ada kayak kita nanya gitu dia nggak pernah sekolah di Indo kuliah. Tapi you pasti have friends
Iya.
yang kuliah di Indo kan.
iya.
Terus kayak pasti ada ngambil ID juga kan.
Iya, ada.
Ya menurutnya kayak dari cerita-cerita mereka
Compare-
sama
but-
enggak gitu loh.
But it will be like more offensive.
But then maybe you could add some notes kayak
Kayak in a nice
that's
way.
that's why I feel like
Hmm.
we as a collective need to support Indonesians kayak gitu lah, maybe bisa. Yeah, it's okay.
Maybe
Okay.
you can say it in a way yang kayak kayak maybe sekarang emang banyak yang suka kuliah di luar. It's not that Indonesia doesn't offer that much opportunity, but it's best that we learn something outside to bring the information
Back
inside.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like the sugar on top.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
The
the
cherry
sugar
on the ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, how about I answer first, then you guys see if like
Yeah,
it's
Oh ya boleh
to
boleh.
Or maybe we'll just put it in kayak tulisan di IG, but maybe we could cut it.
Yeah, we can cut later.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Just say.
Okay, so I think Indo's nice that you get a lot of free time, right? Like one of the advantages we have at SM is also free time. So in Indo, some of my friends that are graduating from Indo have a lot of free time to work on their technical skills. Because honestly, school teaches you a lot of theory. So in Singapore, right, there's a lot of hackathons, and in Singapore it's like the central. Singapore is like the hub of Asia, right? So a lot of capital flows in, and there's a lot of R&D money coming. So I think that's why they host a lot of hackathons, because all these companies come in, they need to R&D, and Singapore like offers them hackathons to invest into, and they get ideas out of that. And in Indo, I think there's also quite a few hackathons, especially by banks, I'm pretty sure. And well, I lost my train of thought. Wait, how do I close this?
Take it easy.
Hmm,
Maybe bisa ngomongin kayak walaupun ada juga di Indo, but
Nggak,
we could
maybe
clearly see that there's a lot
nggak.
more di SG.
Kayak hackathons di Indonesia tuh mungkin dananya nggak sebanyak
Iya.
yang
Enggak,
ada di
jangan bilang
Singapura.
dana.
Ya, emang.
Kok nggak bilang aja hackathon saya belum terlalu kayak belum banyak yang
Oh, you know what? I'll just say culture. Culture hackathonnya belum
Terlalu
terbentuk.
ya,
Indo.
gede
Iya.
gitu ya. Kayak bener-bener
Karena
Oke, oke.
IT itu not really besar di Indonesia, sedangkan di
Oke.
Singapura everything is kayak modernized, especially lu
Hmm.
ada PayWave, lu naik MRT aja udah pakai HP doang. Wherein di Indonesia tuh lu BCA masih harus pakai kartu fisikal, jadi kayak
Hmm.
IT is not really something.
Mungkin
Yes.
bisa ngomong maybe currently nggak
Hmm.
mensupport your passion.
Ah. Oke, video.
Maybe
Uh,
nanti dari sana kita bisa tambahin juga.
Iya.
Oh yeah, I
Just
just
continue.
continue. Yeah. Okay, so on top of that, I think the culture in Indo for hackathons is also nggak seterbentuk sama di sini, and that we
nggak apa chill.
nggak seterbentuk terus
Butuh minum.
Ya,
no need.
Oh, betul. Oke.
Should I repeat the questions?
Okay.
Sure, sure.
So we want to know more kayak the reason as to why maybe kayak kamu choose to pursue your IT career here di SG rather than di Indo. Maybe kayak any personal reasons as to why.
Wait, I'm thinking how to like open and close it.
it's okay. Take
Okay.
your time.
Hmm.
Santai santai.
The room is not gonna be used.
Okay, chill.
The time is not kejar you unless you have something.
Yeah.
Unless you have
Soalnya ini
something.
bisa di-cut jadi kayak
Iya, jadi
Hmm.
something.
not important.
Okay. Okay. So I guess my main motivation to go to Singapore is that there's a lot more. First of all, the IT culture here is more embedded, right, in Singapore than in Indonesia. There's a lot of gaps where we can fill in Indonesia, where IT is needed. We can scale a lot more with IT, and that I think I can bring new knowledge from here back to Indo as well.
So you feel like SG could
Mm.
support your passion, Naya?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I think you also mentioned a bit about your purpose and your passion and stuff while we were talking about finding oneself's interest, Maya.
Mhm.
I saw that you are doing a project, right, outside of like campus. It's a personal project. I saw that you're currently in Aurelius,
Mhm.
and you participated in the Nigerian AI research scheme, if I'm not mistaken. Is
Mhm.
that correct? Could you tell us more about that, please?
What
As
the-
in, kaya, maybe I'll help you with kaya. I mean, Nigerian AI research scheme. It's such a
Mm.
prestigious thing to do, right?
Mhm.
Maybe we could talk more about what is Aurelius itself.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. The project kind of went bust, but I can answer it though.
Kayak what did you learn from it aja walaupun kayak it kinda in a sense like failed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tapi kayak what did you learn from
Yeah.
it gitu.
Maybe could start with inilah. Nanti I'll try to
Shift it.
shift it. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So the first thing, right? Nanti bakal kata aja ya. So the person that onboarded me was like one of the Nigerian people, right? So I know him from Twitter, and then we ended up talking about we can positively impact like cancer treatment by automating it with machine learning. So based on that, I was like, okay, I'm on board because I'm a purpose kind of guy, right? Then we're doing this project. I also brought in some of my SIM friends. Tapi in the end, the guy lost contact. Kayak dia tiba-tiba hilang.
Ghosting gitu.
Iya. Jadi
But
we recently disbanded.
from your LinkedIn, okay, sorry, masih dikat kan? But from your LinkedIn, kayak one of your friends that posted it initially dari kayak Aurelius ini said that you guys are one of the winners out of kayak 45 other winners.
Yeah, so
So
itu
if it fell out, how? Huh?
yeah, basically the guy that put the money. I think yeah. Yeah. So our point of contact to funding kan was through this Nigerian dude kan. Then he was like, oh yeah, the funding will come next week, which he said for like 2 months. Then suddenly I'm like, oh okay.
But jadi kayak disbanded. But
Iya.
kok bisa jadi one of the winners?
Jadi maksudnya bohong gitu di LinkedIn?
Oh enggak, jadi for the grant itu kasih proposal. Jadi first proposal dulu, terus udah secure kan fundingnya. Terus we started building. Tapi the funding katanya because of bureaucracy reasons cannot come in directly. Terus that happened and then delay hilang.
Jadi technically lu ditipu gitu.
Yeah, pretty much.
So from there, what can you say about what just happened to you to others? Kayak what do you want people to know so that they don't kayak experience the
It's
same thing?
Karena kan
as
jadinya
you do?
kayak what you're doing is kayak volunteering.
Yeah, pretty much. So I guess, I mean, I guess this one can put in lah. So I'd say have multiple routes out. If you're approaching a problem, find several solutions to it, and then don't depend on one guy because that's gonna be a bottleneck, right? So look for in my scenario is look for other sources of funding, look for other connections like professors who can supervise you instead of just building on your own and not knowing is this the right direction to take this product to. Yeah.
But even though it fell apart, basically, right, the project, you still worked on some departments of it, right? May we know more about kayak what did you do there and what did you like exactly try to do?
Okay, so the problem statement is that we're supposed to automate lung cancer treatment. So you'd get a CT scan from a hospital, and then you would run that through the deep learning model, and it would come out to segmentation. So segmentation is like this part, like top right of the lungs has this infection, bottom left has this infection, something like that. And we use that to help the doctors know where to go. Like we help guide the doctors for radiotherapy and where to treat in the lungs.
Okay, so basically the whole reason as to why you even tried to start this project is like you trying to give back the community and stuff alike, right? Even though it fell apart, if it was successful, through this project, do you have any expectations kaya, for yourself and for others juga?
So, well, the first expected result was that we would make like a research paper, so outlining like the results we got with different models, and then for us and my SIM friends personally, a research paper in machine learning, if you publish one of those, it's like it's a feat, and it's a plus point for when you're applying for jobs. And other than that, I guess is to help like the people in Nigeria because we're building for them, right? And yeah, I guess that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is the last part, the closing part. So I'll ask you some more personal stuff up.
Mm.
So from all of your works and achievements, right? What impact do you hope your past work and hopefully your future work will have on others?
Mm. Okay, wait,
Maybe
wait.
in terms of kaya
Mhm.
trying to inspire others or kaya maybe help certain communities or
Okay. Wow, I've never thought of this very deeply. Bagus.
Soalnya kan kalau misalnya orang jadi dokter kan dia kayak hope to save
Hmm.
lives. Kalau you as like an IT student kayak what do you expect from yourself gitu?
Tapi kalau
Hmm.
misalnya you don't have expectation for your future but you have something in mind for the present juga nggak apa-apa, just say.
Mm.
basically kaya the impact of your work so far
Yeah.
lah.
Mm. Okay, I guess IT is about scaling solutions, right? And reducing the menial work people have to do. So, in a sense, I want to be involved in improving the quality of life, in a sense, by removing all of those boring admin work and like whatever else. And where I see myself in the future, I'm earning like 150K with 3 kids, loving wife,
Okay.
and other purposes. Well, for me personally, I haven't found a specific problem statement that I want to work on, but I believe that learning about machine learning and AI is gonna help me tackle those problems with the latest technology and build more interesting solutions. Yeah.
Okay. So if you could go back in time, right?
Mhm.
And what type of advice would you give yourself, kaya, to your younger self, especially knowing that you would pursue IT and machine learning and stuff?
Okay, so I'm imagining I'm like 15 years old, right? Or which age range do you think I should do?
Maybe just like younger kids kayak
Hmm.
bayangin yourself tuh kayak udah kayak ya right now terus kayak you're talking to like little kids yang kayak oh I want to do IT juga gitu loh, but like it's you dulu, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But like we're not that old
Yeah,
anyways. I'll just
exactly.
say like probably SMP
Okay.
SMP like 9th grade lah, SMP 3, 2 gitu kayak
Hmm.
dulu pas jam segitu you udah suka IT juga atau belum?
I liked it because of the money.
Ya
Yeah.
realistis sih, ya
Yeah.
kalau kita advice to your old self maybe like to prepare more atau kayak gimana?
Okay, so advice I would give to my SMP self is that first it's fine to do it for the money, but over time I think you can't survive on your purpose being only money. You have to slowly tilt the compass towards a purpose that will help you assist other people and give back to your community, and yeah, or selfish ambition like building the OpenAI Dota bot, even like little things like those that will keep you going, not just the money.
Okay, thank you so much. If that is an advice for your younger self, right?
Mhm.
What type of advice would you give to others who want to indulge themselves or involve themselves in IT scenario?
Okay, so like our age.
Yang maybe kayak,
Mm.
because I feel like IT could be very intimidating because there are lots of aspects to it, right? Kayak sub modules to IT. Maybe kayak any tips on kayak how to start or kayak just in general lah for those who are interested.
Can I suggest technical resources?
Can.
Okay, so I guess if I were to start now at this age again, completely fresh from IT, then I would take this free Harvard course, this thing called CS50. You guys can also look that up. I'll give you the link. And yeah, from there you have to find something that you want to learn, like a specific thing. So back then I was really interested as well in video game companies, right? So I learned web scraping to be able to get information on like video games they produced. And yeah, just these small little like skills like web scraping, sometimes data science, sometimes front end, sometimes back end, and all these things accumulate over time and they make you a versatile person, and you can build interesting solutions to problem statements, and that's the core of IT. Yeah.
Wait. So I have a question. So for instance, like you were interested in IT for the money, but then now you are interested in IT also, either ways, regardless of learning it right now. So in Indonesia, there's not really much opportunities for anak SMP atau SMA buat belajar IT di sekolah, karena nggak semua sekolah provide that subject. So what do you suggest for others yang baru mau masuk kuliah dan mereka tuh baru sadar tentang IT, tapi mereka tuh mau masuk kuliahan IT just for the money? Do you suggest them to actually really understand the pursuits of taking IT, or do you feel like just go for it gitu? Like, do you think, karena kayak some people think it's difficult, kayak when they get into IT a lot of people realize that it's not what they want.
Yeah.
What they're expecting is different from what
Yeah,
they're
so
actually learning.
so right now for you it's a special case because you ended up liking it. But what do you think, if you ended up hating IT, what would you do, and what do you think the others should do?
Okay. So should I start with the context dulu?
Can.
Okay. It's alright. Yeah, go yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so right, I started learning about IT mainly for the money, right, when I was in high school. Then I ended up coincidentally liking it once I kept growing older and like finding my passion. But I think if you start in IT and you realize down the line that, oh, I don't like IT. But the thing is, IT is very versatile, right? So maybe what you could do is that you find a problem statement in an area which you're actually interested in. So if you feel like your place is serving children, then you already learned the skills for IT. You might as well apply them for children, even though your prototype might not be as good, but you can at least help drive a change towards the place you're interested in, and that will help you develop the passion.
Okay, so you're saying it's never too late.
Alright. And kayak gak sia-sia lah
Yeah.
whatever your learning is. Okay. So last question. Maybe things you want to say before we end the interview, either to the watchers or kayak to yourself, or any message lah. Last message that you wanna say to the world.
Okay. Well, hard. Okay.
Or maybe from your personal point of view, or as an IT student, it's okay.
Okay, Elon Musk said this. So his advice to younger people would be helpful to other people, like be of use to other people. Create more than you consume, and I believe that's true for all of us, right? Because we live in a society of finite value, then we need to create more to be able to create more of the economic pie. So I guess there's that, and keep yourself motivated, keep your physical, mental, technical, and spiritual in check, and everything else will come naturally. And just do your best, let God do the rest. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's all for our interview today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay. Sorry banget kalau di